Excellent. Thanks everyone for joining us on the webinar today. I'm James Gurry, the Managing Director of Aureka. Just give a couple of minutes. We've got about 25 people on the line right now, which is fantastic. Great to see a lot of interest in the company. Let me go through to the introductory slides. You would have seen this slide before, highlighting what we think are the key attributes of our company, and it's really pleasing to see some incremental updates as we've gone through the last couple of months. Most notably, since our last webinar, we have announced the toll milling partnership with the owners of the Wedderburn Gold Processing Mill. So that's a really key thing for our portfolio. It's great that milling option is so close to the Comstock project, and also we did highlight in that ASX release that there's some longer term optionality on that mill that we'd be looking at, even in relation to the Irvine project at Stawell. You know the rest of those attributes right there, but let me take you through to the agenda for today's call. Excellent. So, as I mentioned, the last time we had a webinar, we try and have one once per quarter. We had it on around the 18th of June when we announced the terrific increase in the overall JORC resource from 360,000 ounces up to 455,000 ounces, and Jozef presented his work there based on what our resource geologist did. Now, subsequent to that time, we've had a series of announcements in relation to the starter project at Comstock, which is fantastic, including the concept study, where we released those details. That also included the initial production license that we've applied for, and then subsequently also we announced the milling partnership with the Wedderburn Mill, which is fantastic. So we thought that we would wait until a couple of weeks after the quarter, and we would wait until Zane Smith had joined us. Officially, he joined us on Monday. He's already done about a month's worth of work before he joined, but it's fantastic to have Zane join the company with his experience at the right time. And once I get past this slide, I'll ask Zane to just introduce himself quite quickly. But it's fantastic to have him come on board and assist myself and Jozef and the team as we progress our portfolio really to the next level. Also on the line, we've got Jozef Story, our Exploration Manager. He's also available to discuss the exploration strategy, discuss the geology of Comstock and the Irvine project. As you can see from today's ASX release and the visual gold also that we released last week in relation to Comstock, that the drill bit is working pretty hard across the two projects, which is fantastic. So if you have any questions in relation to the geology, please let us know. We will have an opportunity for question and answer. Hopefully this seminar is quite quick, short and sharp and contained, but please do drop your questions into the Q&A type box that I think you can see on your screen. And we will answer those questions probably at the end of the slideshow. Now, the slides that we're talking to today are available on the ASX platform. We've just released them, I think, at 11 a.m. or so onto the platform. So please go ahead and grab the slides if you want to follow on and have the slides as a reference. All right, so in June, we identified at Comstock, we've been talking about Comstock and its brownfield nature for quite some time now, and the opportunity that it presents itself. People will recall that we put the initial JORC resource at Comstock onto the project around mid last year, the 56,000 ounces. And subsequent to that, we have identified that the lighter part of Comstock, the Walker's pit, that has the least amount of mining compared to the pit overall, that looks to be shaping up as an ideal starting pit for us to try and get this project into production as soon as possible. So when we released that concept study, we had some terrific input from the consulting geologists and mine design guys, as well as the local operators, core prospecting, which was fantastic. And people will remember that study really confirmed for us, and you can see it from the picture on the screen, particularly on the right-hand side, that access to this pit is really good. It's still there, and remember, this pit was last in production in 1995, and it's been used subsequently since then for exploration activities. So the pit ramp access is there. Our drilling contractors are using that pit ramp access today, which is fantastic. The site access is really good. Quite a number of you would have been out to the site, and obviously it's pretty much a public access site. It's fenced off, but people can. You might be able to see in the northern part of the picture here. You can see the picture of a car there, I think. So this is all on Crown land and managed by Parks Victoria. So it's an excellent access for us, given that it's one particular landowner and it's a brownfield site. The key message in that update when we selected the Walker's site was that when you think about a startup project, what we've got here is potentially a very capital light startup because the pit's already there, the access is already there. We don't anticipate, or there won't be any need for extensive pre-strip, given that the ore that we've potentially identified for first up production is pretty much at your feet when you're at the Walker's pit. And obviously, we released those visual gold estimates the other day, and those were encountered only 18 or 20 metres vertically below the pit, which is great. So when you think about the capital that might be required to get this project up and going when we're ready, it would be just related to ancillary infrastructure, which might just be supporting infrastructure and those sort of working capital requirements rather than extensive earthworks or access. And also, after locking in that milling partnership, obviously we're not looking to process the ore at the site at all. So what we've provisionally designed is entirely within the pre-disturbed site, which is fantastic. So it's great that the Walker's pit is taking shape for us as the potential site for the first up production. This is just a series of pictures that really demonstrate that to you. So you can see the Walker's pit and the density of drilling you can see on the left-hand picture there. This is highlighting our drill results from last year at Comstock, and we look forward to getting more drill results in relation to Comstock out quite soon. But you can see the density of drilling in the Walker's pit there. And that's really what's attracted our engineers to say that, this is your ideal first starting pit. In the centre, we've got the historical drill results highlighted, some very high grades there and some very wide widths also. So 10 metres at 3 grams, 2.2 metres at 27.4 grams, 10 metres at 1 gram, 4 metres at 9 grams, 14 metres at 7.2 grams really stands out, and very, very shallow. You can see that those intersections are from 18 to 60 metres to 24 metres in depth. So the important thing for us here is that those drill results date back to even to the 1980s, but most in particularly to the 1990s. And so it's been absolutely imperative for us to commence that infill drilling as we announced about 3 months ago or 4 months ago. And you can see in the image on the right-hand side that infill drilling is successfully underway during the winter here in Victoria, and those guys are doing a great job in getting those meters done, and those 10 odd sort of holes that we're targeting for some infill drilling and infill results to shore up what we know about the Walker's pit, and we look forward to releasing that in due course. Now, this is the prospecting license that we announced at the same time as the concept study. It might be a very good time for me to introduce Zane Smith to everyone. Zane joined us this week. He's got previous experience at the Stawell Gold Mine, recently been working on infrastructure projects throughout Victoria, and we're very, very pleased that Zane is so excited to be joining Aureka at the right time. He's a local landowner near our Irvine project near Stawell. And it's really terrific to attract people of his calibre and talent to the Aureka team as we're ready to grow this company to the next level. So I might throw it over to Zane to introduce yourself quite quickly and perhaps run us through the concept design that we've got here in relation to our prospecting licence application and what we've provisionally got designed and that we're talking to the regulators and our very important stakeholders about as we take this project forward. Over to you, Zane.
Thank you very much, James. Good afternoon, everyone. As James mentioned, my name is Zane Smith, and I'm very proud to be on board with Aureka at such an exciting time of growth. A little bit about me. I originally started as a dual qualified engineer and mining surveyor, commencing in the mining industry over 2 decades ago. It's been a career that's taken me all over Australia and ironically back to Victoria. Basically, if there's a technical role, I've done it or been very closely involved with it. I was heavily involved, as James mentioned, in getting Stawell Gold Mines back up and running on a technical front from care and maintenance back in 2018, 2019, which ironically sits only 17 kilometres north of our 400,000 ounce Irvine project, as many of you would be aware. In later years, I've been in the project manager and project director space of numerous large-scale strategic government infrastructure projects, specifically Eastern Grampians Rural Pipeline, Southwest Loddon, Minnera project. And due to the size of these projects, and they're basically the equivalent size of Melbourne, I've needed approvals from basically every regulator you could think of. The exposure has given me a good understanding of approvals, governance, and contracting pathways needed to progress projects in an efficient, cost-effective manner. But as James mentioned, the exciting thing that we have on the books is the Comstock. So enough about me. Getting back onto the Comstock. As many of you would be aware, this pit only sits 2 kilometres north of an historic, of an called the Lord Nelson. Now, this mine worked from 1864 to 1915 and produced over 400,000 ounces. So we're only 2 kilometres away from a very, very significant mine that effectively we have gold basically sitting at the surface. So taking you through is extremely simple compared to most operations. It's basically daylighted and it's sitting within the existing pit. James, back over to you.
Great, Zane. Terrific introduction, and glad you're so excited about the Comstock project. And following on from what Zane was saying, just some more pictures here about what we're up to at the Comstock project and some investors on the right-hand side visiting the site. But again, you can see the infill drilling going on there on the left-hand side. And I thought this was a terrific picture just to show this is a historic drill hole of some description. And this is the type of drill holes that we're following up with our own work to make sure that the results, the historical results, are valid and that we've verified them for our own work. Very, very important because we don't want to put shareholder money at risk in bringing into something to production that we're not confident that'll deliver the gold and the silver that we think is there in the pit. And please, as we're demonstrating there on the right-hand side, if you do have a desire to come out and see our projects, they're only a couple of hours drive from Melbourne. So please do come out because they are very impressive. There's not many people in Victoria that host a brownfield-looking site like this that we have at Comstock. And it's on Crown land, as I mentioned before. So it's a really key advantage to us in terms of having a project that's very executable that we can execute on, given the size and the resources that we can bring to bear, knowing that we really do have the company making project down the road, not too far away at the Irvine project as well. Zane, I might give you throw back to you just to outline for us. I know a lot of people ask us how complicated things can be here in Victoria about getting a mining project up and going. But why don't you just give us a high-level outline of where we're at and the process that we're on, given that we have chosen to apply for that smaller scale mining license.
Okay, thank you, James. So effectively, for the fact that we're looking at a prospecting license and we're working in a previously disturbed mine site, we should be able to fast track the approvals. So most approvals of most mine sites are very linear and it takes a great deal of time. Our concept of the way that we work with this is we do as many approvals in parallel as possible. So there, you notice that there's an upper section and there's a lower section. The nuts and bolts of it is we've already progressed on 60% of these approvals, and the remaining approvals are waiting on a stage gate that is very near to be triggered. So we envisage that we should be able to turn first generation of funds out of this project within roughly around 12 months.
Yeah, that's a great outline, and I think people should really just be aware that we're pushing this as fast and as efficiently and as safely as we can. And as Zane said, after we hit those stage gates, no doubt we will make those announcements, and that'll open up the gateway for approvals and really getting this project going. And remember what I said before is that after we get these approvals, there won't be 12 months of pre-strip or 6 months of pre-strip required here. The site is open, it's open access. As Zane said, the ore is at your feet, and we're verifying that also with the infill drilling. We've got those key advantages as we highlight below, that it's off-site processing, it's a previously mined site, and it's a small footprint, what we've put forward, and that's to minimise our impact on the environment, on stakeholders nearby, and everything like that. So it's great to be taking the project forward. Now, one of the key advantages, and I think we might have mentioned it in a previous slide, is that what we're looking at here at Comstock is really opportunistic production, because one, we have a very supportive gold price, and two, it's a brownfield previously mined site, mined back in 1995, and we've put the JORC resource around it. But also, what's critical to this is that the availability of the Wedderburn Gold Processing Mill, only 45 kilometres away from the site. So you have seen us make a couple of announcements in relation to our ongoing work with the guys at Core Prospecting. Now they own this mill site. They're operating this mill site themselves for their own production down at from the Fiddler's Creek mine that they own. That mine produces gold and silver, as is anticipated, will be the key metals out of the Comstock project. And we've driven the roads between Comstock and Wedderburn quite a few times now. There's quite a lot of agricultural activity going on there. And it's really pleasing to know that the guys who own the Wedderburn Mill, they actually approached us because they actually drive past our site on their way up to the Wedderburn Mill. And they were very encouraging about helping us get Comstock up and into production, and really leveraging from their experiences of getting their own small mining project up and into production over the last 5 years here in Victoria. So it's really good to be working in a milling partnership with that. We'll be able to help fill up the spare capacity, of which there is ample spare capacity at the Wedderburn Mill at the moment. And what they produce from this mill is a very high value and high grade gold and silver concentrate that they export overseas. So it's terrific to be able to lock in that partnership, as we announced just a few weeks ago. It's a binding partnership, gives us capacity at this mill. There's a very good capacity reservation understanding there. and we look forward to working with our milling partners there, taking the Comstock project forward and into production as soon as we can. They look forward to receiving our ore, and we obviously look forward to getting the project up and into production. And as mentioned in that announcement, it's a cost plus arrangement so that we retain ownership of the gold and silver and the concentrate that we will be selling on the open market after it goes through the milling activities. So it's great to have the project located so close to the Wedderburn Mill, and the Wedderburn Mill is eagerly anticipating, as many people are, the Comstock project getting into production. Here's a few more details about the milling partnership that we did sign, and people can read that in their own time. But basically, the mill at the moment operates, I would probably describe it on a part-time basis, and therefore some of the only things that we'll be doing when that mill receives ore from Comstock is really increasing the number of shifts occurring per week from two shifts, maybe up to 5 shifts, something like that. So people can appreciate that there's plenty of spare capacity at this operation right now to receive our ore, which is really fantastic, knowing that there's only 5 or 6 processing options in the whole state of Victoria, and it's great to have signed an agreement, and quite a cooperative agreement, with the Wedderburn Gold Processing Mill. So I think that's a really, really key advantage for our portfolio. When you look back at June, or when you look back at the start of the year, one of the key achievements we've had, not only have we been able to increase our JORC resources significantly, but now we have a processing option for our projects. It's a really a big step forward, and quite a credit to the team and what they've achieved. Joseph, I might throw over to you to take us through the Walker's Pit, if you don't mind, the ongoing infill program, and we've got a couple of stars there where we have encountered the visible gold on the Walker's Pit.
No worries, thanks, James. Good morning, everyone. Oh, good afternoon now. It was morning when we started. So yeah, this is just a quick grab of the long section at St Arnaud up at the Comstock project, where, like James said, we're focusing on reaffirmation drilling and some infill drilling of the legacy drill holes that were completed back in the day in the 80s and 90s. So what we're seeing is really encouraging, as you would have seen in the release that we put out earlier in the week. It's last week, and we've got visible gold right where we thought there'd be visible gold, which is very, very encouraging. Obviously, there's a caveat on getting assays, like visible gold isn't necessarily means we're going to get stellar numbers, but elsewhere at Comstock where we've had visible gold, that we've seen the assays follow well. So, in conjunction with this, we've also put a few holes further out to the Comstock in an area of the Comstock pit which historically hasn't been well drilled. It's the southern part of Comstock. We do see that as an opportunity to continue to grow the project. So, yeah, really encouraging that we've got the drill rig spinning, and really encouraging that we're seeing reef material where we expected to see it.
Yeah, really good. And remember, Comstock overall is that 56,000 ounces, and it's great that we've identified. You can see how shallow the Walker's Pit in particular is, and it contrasts to what you see in the rest of the Comstock. So look forward to getting those results.
Yes. Yeah, I can keep talking if you want, James. So yeah, just following on from Comstock is obviously our flagship project, the Stawell Corridor, and more particularly the Irvine Gold Project. So this is a long section that you've probably all seen before, just demonstrating the extent of our portfolio. We did release back in June an upgrade to our resource, which is fantastic. We've got nearly 400,000 ounces of inferred resources at Irvine now, mostly focused near the Stawell granite, like a juxtaposition from Magdala, so just to the south. So, south of us is 17 kilometres away. North of us, it's the Magdala, only 17 k's away, which is 5 million ounces historically. We're now well on the way to growing that beyond 500,000 ounces. So this is a fantastic result for us, and it comes about from understanding the geology. The team really did a great job of pulling out several domains. We've now got 11 domains that we're focusing on, and being able to add nearly 100,000 ounces to the resource. So yeah, great job by the geologist on site to really pull the structures apart and drive it forward from that standpoint. And obviously the ongoing drilling that we're doing is added as well. So yeah, in conjunction with the drilling, with the resource update, we did a review of the exploration targets. We've identified 6 key areas, two advanced. So one of these that you see on the screen now, the exploration target in red, that's an advanced, what we think is an advanced target is its up dip of known mineralisation. We've just moved the drill rig back in place now, and we're targeting some up dip extensions to both the tenacity structure and the resolution structure. So that forms part of our strategy of ongoing drilling, which we've had at Irvine for some time now, basically since I started. Earlier this week, we put out a release just following up on the work that Dr. Barry Murphy completed for us. Dr. Murphy was integral and part of the Bankan discovery in Guinea, where they had over 5 million ounce discovery at Bankan in West Africa. He's engaged with us. What he did is took our geophysical data, he reassessed it all, and the result was the map that you can see on the screen. You can see the structural complexity in all those black dots, dotted lines, and the red dotted lines. Reaffirmed some of what we knew, but just got a lot of granularity out of that data now, and we're seeing these emerging second order structures 90 degrees to the main red trends, key follow-up areas for us. So there's a lot of positives to come out of that work. We've got that an update of the geology, but also a reaffirmation of our targets. So it's really, really positive all news round for exploration.
And Joseph, if I may, so how many exploration targets we got there in total? It seems ET6, right?
So we've got 6 exploration targets, and then we've got some areas of interest that are key to follow up as well. So you can see some of the areas of interest sort of overlap with the exploration targets. The targets, like from 1 and 2, they're what we conceive as advanced targets because they're along strike of the resolution. As you step out for exploration targets 4, 5, and 6, 3, 4, 5, and 6, they're areas where we know there's historical reefs or historical mining, but the confidence in the drilling is a whole lot less. So the thing about these targets is they're quite immature from an exploration standpoint. The focus of our work since I began is around resolution and growing resolution and step changes of north and south of resolution. We're yet to really jump into adventure to the south, and we're really yet to explore some of the step change exploration discovery targets, such as exploration target 3 to 6.
And just to clarify, so that ET1, we saw that on the previous slide, didn't we? Here
Correct.
on the right-hand side. And did you say that we've moved the drill rig into that position most recently? Also, in addition to what we've previously disclosed, is that we're also targeting between the 2 lodes. We've got the smaller adventure lode at the south there, but resolution that holds the vast majority of our resources here. So there's some terrific targets in between, and on both the western side and the eastern side of resolution. And as the astute readers will see, a couple of historic mines, they date back 100 years or more, also within the vicinity of those exploration targets and where we would be drilling. So it's great to have such advanced work and reiterating our strategy here at Irvine to really get to that aspiration that we've got to grow this project in particular to 1 million ounces, given that we're down the road ourselves from the 5 million ounce Stawell gold mine. And even if you look at the 236 to 545,000 ounce exploration targets, if you add them up, if you add those to our existing 400 odd thousand ounces that we have at the Irvine project, it's a pretty decent start for a 20 mil market cap company. So great to see the flagship project also growing at the same time that we're focusing on our first up production. So we wanted to include this slide to make sure that people can really understand how the different assets are now working together in a complementary nature to really grow the Aureka portfolio. We know that as a small company, we have a lot of tenements. We're one of the biggest tenement holders in Victoria, and our tenements have a terrific amount of potential. However, it's important that we have a business strategy that really ties the projects and the tenements together. As we mentioned about 10, 15 minutes ago, Comstock, it's really about opportunistic first up production. It's a combination of the current gold price, the availability of the spare capacity at the Wedderburn Mill, and the fact that, as you can see on the screen in the centre, it is a brownfield site completely within Crown land, and it's a previously disturbed site. So we're working as hard as we can to take advantage of all those conditions to get this project up and into production as a low capex, as a low capital startup opportunity to generate that first bit of production, that first bit of revenue, and importantly, as per Zane Smith's incentives and targets, a profitable, safe, free cash flow for the benefit of our shareholders, so that our company can stand on its own 2 feet and really reinvest the free cash flow and the proceeds to not only continue to grow the Comstock project, which will be obviously nearer term ounces that we can turn into revenue, but also support the ongoing exploration and growth and the de-risking of the Irvine Gold Project. So really, Comstock's really about paying for ourselves, and the Irvine Gold Project is really about being the company-making project that's really going to drive this company to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars in the short to medium term. So that's the strategy as these assets all come together. Remember, we're not talking about something in Victoria and something in WA and something over in Chile. Here, what we have is a series of assets that are all located within 1 hour's drive of each other. It's really pleasing when we take investors around our projects that we can do it all in a good day's drive from Melbourne, or for those with a little bit more time, it's terrific to stay the night somewhere like in Stawell or St or similar, and actually take your time to appreciate the asset portfolio that we have, and then we're combining here into a very coherent and complementary business strategy. And that's really unlocked most recently by that partnership that we have with the Wedderburn Mill and the spare capacity that they have. It's terrific to have a binding partnership there that ensures that we have reservation on that mill. And even in the longer term, if we wanted to consider about driving ore from the Irvine Gold Project up to Wedderburn, that's certainly a possibility that we will look at in the longer term, as we highlighted in that ASX announcement, saying that we would look at what the capital and the cost parameters and the factors that need to be in place to make that economically feasible. And certainly we've seen other people and peer companies transport ore a lot further distance than that across Victoria to get access to one of the only small number of milling operations that exist within the state. So it's really clear now that not only do we have a terrific exploration portfolio, we're advancing that portfolio to the next stage to have operating projects. You can see from the addition of Zane to the team that we're really building ourselves out as an operating company with that skills and capabilities and bringing a lot of that in-house. So that's probably a pretty good summary of what we wanted to present today. So if you do have some questions, please type them into the Q&A panel if you can. We look forward to taking those. But before we answer any questions, what I also want to point out is what can people expect from Aureka over the coming weeks and months. We've obviously had quite a busy couple of months since we announced the significant increase to the JORC resource. All the major announcements since then have been related to the Comstock project. But remember, with those drill rigs still churning, we do look forward to having any significant drill results to put out to the market. as we drill test those exploration targets that Jozef spoke to, as well as finishing off the infill program at Comstock. So hopefully we can get some announcements out to the market very soon in relation to our drilling results. Also, over the medium to longer term in the months ahead, don't forget the exciting Jubilee project that we have near Ballarat. We do need to do some work on that project quite soon. And from a geologist standpoint, it's a very, very exciting target for us. It's certainly very, very early stage, but has significant upside. Also, as we flagged, please look out for a JORC update as we incorporate our drilling at the Comstock project. So remember, in mid last year, we came out with that initial JORC numbers around Comstock, the 56,000 ounces. Obviously, we had quite a lot of drilling success that we reported in Q4 and Q1 this year in relation to the Comstock project. We need to incorporate that drilling back into the JORC resource, as well as what we're taking out of the infill program right now. So we look forward to updating our JORC numbers around the Comstock project, hopefully in the fourth quarter of this year. And then, as Zane flagged, hopefully our initial license application comes through for Comstock shortly thereafter, perhaps in the first half of next year. So they're the catalysts, if I was a shareholder, looking out for. That's what I would be anticipating further work from us in the months ahead. So I'm not sure if there's instructions about the Q&A, but I can see at least a couple of questions there. So we might take some questions now.
Okay, so we've only received 2 questions so far. The first one, I'll put to the board, is how quickly can you get all the approvals and Comstock into production?
Zane, will I throw it over to you? Yeah,
I might take this one. As mentioned, because we're looking at doing as many background work, as many approvals as possible in parallel, we're fast tracking it as quickly as we possibly can. So I envisage that we'll actually get the approvals by 12 months, which is extremely quick for a mining operation. It's just that we're being on the front foot and engaging as many approvals as we can that aren't reliant on a previous stage gate. So that's the answer to that one.
And do you anticipate that we would do contract mining, given what we know about Comstock at the moment?
Look, we've got complete flexibility for the fact that the ore resource is, we can effectively touch it. So we've got the ability of whatever is the most cost-effective way of doing it. We could engage contract mining on a very short period of time for the fact that the resource is sitting right there. Ideally, we would want to go and do our own extraction because it's the most cost-effective way, but it's a time versus cost-effectiveness trade-over.
Yeah, great. And we've obviously targeting a limited life operation at the moment in line with that opportunistic approach to getting this project up and into production. But let's see how big and confident we grow as the JORC resource is revised there at Comstock.
Yeah, and as mentioned too, Comstock has got massive potential for the fact that it's open, and as mentioned, 2 kilometres away, there's a massive mine. So we've got hits at 400 metres beneath this site. So it's absolutely huge potential on its own, let alone the Irvine that's only sitting 17 kilometres away from Migdala.
Great,
Terrific.
thank you. Thank you, Zane. We've got a question in from Peter. He's wondering, do we still have the Stavely JV?
Terrific. Yeah, we do actually have you will notice in our tenement schedule in the quarterly reports, we do have a small joint venture with Stavely Minerals over at the Black Range. That's an area that Zane's very familiar with, given he has a property over there. We do notice that our partner Stavely is getting a little bit more active in refreshing their project at the moment, which is fantastic. Really good to see some base metal results and base metal optimizations coming through for that project. Given where the copper price is at the moment, we're very conscious that that maybe that joint venture that we have with Stavely has some potential to it. But what I would more point to is that we do have our own Morning Bill discovery. We don't talk about it a lot. It hasn't required a lot of work from us at the moment. We are getting that reviewed by a very expert geologist at the minute, which is terrific. Joseph, I don't know if you want to talk any further about Morning Bill and its similarities to the Stavely project, but certainly we've still got that Stavely joint venture.
Yeah, thanks, James. We do have the Morning Bill, and it does have base metal. It's polymetal. Gold is our primary focus at the moment, and we obviously the size of our portfolio and the size of our market cap dictates where we can and can't work. And right at the moment, we see the valuating for the shareholder to be around Stawell and Comstock. But definitely, like James said, we're having it reviewed, and we're fully aware it's in our portfolio, and it's something that we continue to have ideas what we want to do with it.
Happy to receive ideas, aren't we, about that one as well?
Yeah, exactly.
Given our core focus on advancing the gold and silver potential within our portfolio, which is already huge. This one also might be for you, Joseph, if you can see in that.
So far, this is can you see, ask about a hint of antimony. Antimony is not something that's we don't have critical minerals in antimony anyway. It's not something we see presenting in economic amounts in our projects. We do see, like James said, we see silver and traces amount, like small amounts of sphalerite. So there's a little bit of zinc kicking around, small amount of copper in both of our projects, but antimony, no.
We know that antimony is a very exciting product. When we think about critical minerals and the Aureka portfolio, what we really want people to think about is the potential that lies beyond the township of St Arnaud. You know, when you look at our tenements there, they go for another 100 kilometres to the northwest, and they do border the Astron's Donald project, for instance, which is going to be one of the largest critical minerals projects in the Western world, with the rare earths contained within the monazite. So when you want to think about our portfolio and critical minerals potential, it really lies in that general area. And we look forward to bringing you more news on that critical minerals potential in the weeks ahead, given that we know that our tenements do cover a lot of that area, and they are very, very prospective for the critical minerals, particularly contained within the monazite. So we're really talking about rare earths type of minerals at the moment. We do encourage the guys to keep their eye out for any antimony, but unfortunately, as Joseph said, we haven't come across it yet.
I see there's another question from Peter. Why the urgency for Jubilee work? Obviously, the size of our portfolio, we have commitments across the entire portfolio. We did try and get into Jubilee earlier. We just had to get some permitting squared away, and then we had that sort of on track, but then the wet weather came in. So it's something we need to work in the warmer months because it's quite steep to get in there. But not so much an urgency. We've got commitments, but we see it as a really highly prospective target for us to follow up on. We've got Ballarat just kilometres away, historically multi-million ounce area. So very, very prospective for gold mineralisation. The team has been working in the background. We're looking at the geology, looking at the historic work that's being done. Got some fresh ideas and fresh takes on it. So we want to hit that with some geochemistry and some drilling later in the year. Not so much of an urgency as more of something that we've had on the cards for a while. And
I think I've said it in public forums before. Jubilee is probably the most exciting project or target We've got thousands of square kilometres of tenement potential and places we could choose to put a drill rig, and this is the number one priority that's given to us by our internal geologists and people that observe from externally to us, given the potential for projects in that area to deliver high grade results.
Yeah, I think it's a good walk up target. If you've got it in your portfolio, you'd like it. It's a nice walk up target with potential to deliver some nice high grade results.
And again, located on Crown land, so access is reasonably straightforward, apart from in the middle of winter, and it's great that we've worked through all that the logistical aspects of getting into those target areas at Jubilee.
Okay, our final two questions, two parts, is what is the assay turnaround time currently in Victoria? With also, when can we expect your results to be announced?
Yeah, sure. So the current turnaround time, obviously there's a lot going on in Victoria, and we've got lab capacities sort of around Bendigo on-site laboratory services. They take most of, or nearly all of Agnico's samples, as well as everywhere else in Victoria. So they do have a fairly large workload at the moment. We've got a good relationship with the lab. We've reduced our turnaround time slightly by moving away from fire assay and onto photon assay. And what that effectively does is reduce some of our prep time. So we're seeing 3 to 4 week turnarounds at the moment, which is pretty good on the industry as a whole. We did look at I did speak to other labs around Australia just in case the turnaround time started to blow out, but they couldn't guarantee any shorter turnaround times anyway. By the time we ship into state, get the results back, it's logistically we would be putting more work on ourselves, and the turnaround time wasn't decreasing. So we're seeing 3 to 4 weeks. Then we do the QA/QC in amongst the team just to verify that we're happy with everything. So, as far as results go, we tend to try and from finalising the submission to getting them to the market, we're hoping for 4 to 5 week turnaround time on that.
And how long ago did we report that? About 10 days ago, we reported those VG results, didn't we?
Yeah, we're hoping to get them out in the next couple of weeks.
Terrific. Unless there's any more questions come through, I'm happy to do a bit of a summary and a close off for everyone. 45 minutes is a terrific amount of time for a short, sharp conference call. Given how busy Zane and Jozef and myself are in advancing Aureka to the next stage. So remember, the size of the prize at this company is huge. And the really good thing about it now is that we're putting in place a real business strategy where we're bringing in Comstock into first production, and we've got that plan underway. The license is in. We've recruited Zane to ensure that we get all the approvals and the mine designs and everything that we do need. And it's terrific that we've now got access to the Wedderburn Mill to give not only Comstock ore a route to market, but also potentially we can think about our other projects as well. So there's plenty of exciting things happening at Aureka. We've had a series of announcements over the last 8 weeks, and the team keeps pushing, as Jozef said, to get drill results and other news flow out into the market. And there wouldn't be any reason to expect that we can't keep up that cadence going forward. So I might wrap it up there. Please do contact us if you have any further questions, or the team look forward to meeting people next up at the RIU conferences, which are taking place in Melbourne on Tuesday next week and in Sydney on Thursday next week. So please register as an investor for those conferences and come up and see us at the booth, and we'll be doing a presentation as well. So we look forward to engaging with the market and our investors going forward. And as I said, if you have any further questions, please do let us know.
Great. Thank you, everyone.